So Drake has been looking for Kojo for quite some time now because of this whole UMG lawsuit. Now, Kojo apparently is a Kendrick Lamar affiliate. However, we don't really know who Kojo is. Now, there's rumors that there's a person named Kojo out there, but we don't know if this is officially him. But Drake is so set on looking for this man, he is willing to officially serve him papers. And coming to the conclusion with the update in the UMG lawsuit, for the foregoing reasons, Drake's motion for alternate service on Mr. Asamoah is granted. He is going to serve Kojo papers to show up in court, ordered by Jeanette A. Vargas. This is the judge in the case, and it looks like she is allowing Drake and his team of lawyers to serve Kojo so that way he could finally show up in court. Now, we've talked about this in the past. Kojo, the Kendrick Lamar affiliate, is actually somebody who was considered an A&R on the GNX album. However, on the internet, a lot of people can't find Kojo, and the private investigators that Drake had paid were assuming that this individual could have been Kojo and tried to look for him at different locations in Los Angeles and I believe in Maryland, trying to find this person that they think is related to Kendrick Lamar or affiliated with Kendrick Lamar. But the thing is, and just for a little bit of a background here, just to read what was going on up until this point, Drake's amended complaint alleges that the defendant UMG Recordings published and promoted defamatory material concerning Drake, which includes a defamatory recording. Plaintiff further avers that the defendant engaged in deceptive acts and practices by covertly financially incentivizing third parties to play, stream, and promote the defamatory material. Plaintiff, which is Drake, identifies Mr. Asamoah, who is Kojo, as a relevant witness for the claim of deceptive business practices. So this is the whole reason why Drake wants this guy, Kojo, in the court of law. He wants Kojo to appear in front of the judge, in front of the court, and speak on these deceptive business practices that he thinks that he has an idea of regarding UMG or regarding him, whatever the case may be. But the problem is, and going further here, you could see that the plaintiff, which is Drake, has described the efforts undertaken by counsel to serve Mr. Asamoah at numerous locations over the course of several weeks. This is when he paid private investigators to go and look for him. But however, this is what happened. To assist with the service attempts, plaintiff engaged a process server and a private investigative firm, and these efforts resulted in considerable costs for plaintiff. The process server's affidavit states that the agent attempted 11 times to serve Mr. Asamoah at various addresses on different dates and at varying times of the day. Affidavit of the managing director and chief security officer of plaintiff hired private investigators. So Drake hired private investigators, hired a firm to describe the extensive efforts taken to research and confirm the numerous addresses and locations of Mr. Asamoah and his family members and his business ventures. They're trying to say that they've tried their best to try to find him at any business ventures or any of his family members' homes or any locations that he could be tied to. They even go far down and explain that despite several days of surveillance, the investigative firm was unable to personally identify Mr. Asamoah. Drake incurred over $75,000 in costs in connection with the firm's work to conduct surveillance and locate Mr. Asamoah. Now, this is the problem. These private investigators that Drake hired had really finessed Drake out of a lot of money. They finessed him out of 75 grand. And let me tell you why. Because they were going based off of research of Mr. Asamoah on the internet, but the internet seems like they're practicing some type of smear campaign on Kojo Asamoah himself. Now, I've talked about this, and I'll talk about this till the cows come home. The reports about Kojo online seem fabricated and they look fake. Now, people presume on Ripoff Reports, which is this website right here, they claim that Mr. Kojo Asamoah is a scammer and has been scamming for a really long time. But the only problem is with this allegation is that it doesn't make sense. He was mass reported on the same day, a few days after the beef. So right after the beef had finished on May 10th of 2024, he gets mass reported constantly from 3 different people in 3 different states. One place, it's Los Angeles, which is one of the locations that the private investigator looked into. The other place was Florida. How can he be in Florida and scam someone in Cali and do something else in New York City on May 10th? How are 3 people going to talk about this individual at the same time in 3 different places on the same website. It doesn't make sense at all. It all looks planted and it looks worse, especially when this was mass reported right after the beef. So you mean to tell me that Kojo, the Kendrick Lamar affiliate, is being mass reported as a scammer around the time after the beef had officially ended? And not to even mention the fact that Kojo is also somebody who is an A&R with Kendrick Lamar. So now it looks like they're trying to make someone affiliated with Kendrick to look like a criminal without even proving so or without even showing any type of proof. Just to even show, there was a Kojo in the comments of these reports saying that this was all used to defame him. Now we have a Kojo in the comment section saying that these people that are reporting him are trying to make him look like a bad person, trying to defame him with defamatory material. Sounds familiar, by the way. But moving forward, it looks like the judge has finally granted Drake what he wants. It looks like he's finally able to serve Mr. Asamoah the papers so that way he could show up to court. Now, this is crazy beyond levels because now we just officially seen Drake serve someone so that way they could appear in court. Like, let's just be honest here, bro. And I don't know if we're going to see anybody else in court. Are we going to see Drake in court? Is he going to try to put Kendrick Lamar in court, Dave Free, Anthony Saleh? At this point, I'm not sure. But from what it looks like, before anybody could even appear in court, it looks like they're trying to kick off this smear campaign to make these individuals look bad before they even show up in the court of law. I'm just being honest with you, bro. From what it looks like they're trying to make them look like criminals before they could even defend themselves. Because remember, because he believes that he's a relevant witness for the claim of deceptive business practices that are involved with UMG. He wants Kojo to break down to the court how UMG uses deceptive business practices while also being affiliated with Kendrick Lamar. But I wouldn't doubt that they would try to bring this stuff up because this is exactly the information that the private investigators use to find him. This address in California that's marked in ripoff reports, the private investigators tried to look for him there. Either the private investigators finessed Drake out of money and were just going off of what they found on the internet, just like me and you can, or they were intentionally looking into bogus leads to try to paint Kojo as some type of criminal. We'll keep it alleged, bro, but it does look strange how private investigators didn't even seem to bother to fully look into this situation when it came to these ripoff reports. There's no way that Kojo could be at three places at once and three different people, three different parts of the country could report him at the same time on the same day. Totally planted, doesn't look real. And I feel like this is to add on to the circumstances that Drake wants when he tries to bring Kojo into court. I think this all plays into it. And I think this is why Drake is targeting Kojo to go into court first. All in all I could say is Drake is not hip hop. This stuff looks planted. And I've never seen a rapper serve someone else in court, at least maybe not at this aspect, at least not at this height or at this level. This is crazy, bro. And this is all because of a rap beef. Let's remember that. All of this is because of a rap beef. Looking for a guy, chasing the guy down, not wanting to sue the actual person that made the song, but wanting to sue the record label and doing all of this stuff because you're just mad that you lost the battle is crazy to me. But y'all tell me how you feel about this and get back to me, man. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. If you'd like to donate to the channel, Cash App top right corner of the video, and it will be in the comment section. Also join the Patreon. I'll see you on the next one, man. Keep it alleged.